You guys know those background characters that when you see them for the first time in the movie, you're like, oh my god, I have to have that one as a diecast? Well, for me, Muggsy Liftsome is one of those characters. As soon as I saw him in the movie, I was like, oh man, I want to have him as a diecast. He would just be so cool because he was like a big pity and no one really knew what that was. It was kind of like the first of his kind. I know after Cars 2 we saw a couple more like Brian Fuel and the one that appeared in Mater Private Eye, but it really all started with him and he just looked amazing. So I'm happy that only about 3 years after Cars 2 came out, we did indeed get Muggsy Liftsome as a diecast. So I'm very happy that Ross Cars and Planes suggested me to review Muggsy because I haven't on my channel, probably not in a while. I think I might have reviewed him a long time ago, but not in the past 2 years. So it's great to have him back on my channel and he's just a great car. Now, if anyone out there would like to make a suggestion of your own or a birthday request, you can do so, but make sure you don't suggest something that I've already reviewed and just make sure that's valid by watching the video in the description below. It's at the top. Very top, so you can't miss it. Just please watch that so we don't have to go through a huge kind of conversation about invalid, and then, oh, you finally got a valid one. Just start off with the valid one. So, I believe that's all for the introduction, and now let's move on to Muggsy himself. So, as always, we start with where he appeared in the movie. He obviously appeared in the second Cars movie, Cars 2, at the beginning at the oil rig, and he actually was moving around the case with the World Grand Prix camera in it. This is the camera right here, obviously not in the case, but it was kind of in like a case like this. He opened it and then Professor Z was like examining it, and of course Finn McMissile was off on like a platform above taking pictures of it. He took like 5 pictures, I believe, of it, and so that is where Muggsy appeared. No talking, not really a huge role, just kind of served to show Professor Z the camera and to kind of like exert that the Lemons have some pretty big muscle power. I mean, they don't have just a regular pity, they have this huge pity. So that was where he appeared. He never appeared again, and he was only released once in late 2013 as a mail-in for the fall Kmart Collectors event. You had to mail in your receipt, I believe, and then you actually got 2 free deluxes. You got Muggsy Liftsome right here. I do actually have him in the package. He has become kind of rare. I'd say like $20, maybe a little bit less. Of course, you did get him for free, so that is quite the markup. And here's the back. It's kind of hard to see on my small camera here, but you can see that it says Muggsy Liftsome, kind of similar to international packaging in the fact that it only shows one car, that car being the car that you get. And of course, the other car that was featured in this promo for the fall 2013 event was Radiator Springs John Lassetire, and I did review him several weeks ago for a birthday request. If you'd like to check out that review, it will be down in the description below. So 2 great promo cars. I definitely got them immediately. I kind of wish I actually got 2 sets because it wouldn't have been that hard. And yeah, they're kind of rare nowadays. I see the pair going for like $40. Actually, I just saw one couple days ago. So that is how he was released, and that was where he appeared. So now it's time for the review of Mr. Liftsome here. So he's obviously yellow with some black detailing and just a pretty basic look. Obviously he's huge. He's got this long fork. Very nice. It is plastic and it does not move for those who are unaware. He's got that smirk on his face. I've always kind of liked that smirk on his face there. He has pretty big tires for a pity. He's got some dirt detailing on the side here as well, toward the back. And here are the decals. One of them says caution, and the text, I believe it says like clear of all times. I'm not really sure because there's some dirt and whatnot covering it, but it's basically a warning. Over here looks like another warning due to the red writing, but I cannot read it. It is very, very small. Need a microscope to read that. Plus, all the dirt detailing on it makes it even harder to read. He does have a number on the side here that reads 15188. This side's practically the same, just a little bit different dirt texture, or pattern I should say. Here's the back, and here is the base if you're interested. Just some typical information. Now, I don't see a date stamp on here, which is that white code. Probably because, oh, maybe it's this. Maybe it's this one right here, because that looks like it was stamped in and not like engraved. But we do have another code over here on the actual fork. And I do like that shows the articulation point here where this would fold up, this part right here, where it kind of like cuts the fork in half right there. It's not really too visible from the front, but down below you can actually see it. Now, like I mentioned earlier in the video, there are some other big pitties like Muggsy. Here we have Brian Fuel, which appeared at the Ye Left Turn In bar. If you'd like to see my review of Brian, you can also check out the description below. I reviewed him in early 2015, so we're coming up on the 2-year anniversary of Brian. Man, I cannot believe it. Time has just been flying this year. I cannot believe that we're already almost done with the 2016 year. I literally only need 2 more cars to complete the year, and those are Craig Faster and Alexis Wilson. So it'll be nice to get those. They have been shown in the package, and hopefully can get those soon and review them for you guys. But for now, back to the big pitties here. We have Brian, and the other one that I mentioned was a pitty or a character in the short Mater Private Eye. Unfortunately, he was never released, and unfortunately, even more unfortunate, is that Mattel actually never made any cars from that particular short, which is very surprising because it would be the only short that Mattel never made cars from. And it's one of my favorites, so it's kind of disappointing at the time. Thankfully, though, we have the Disney Store and Tomica to make some cars from that short. But nonetheless, here's Brian. Now, they are actually different models due to their heads. Muggsy has that little cap, the overhang right there, whereas Brian is a bartender, so he looks a lot nicer and does not have that hat. He does have a mustache there, reminding me of like Bruiser Bukowski, one of Chick Hicks's pitties. He's got that bow tie there, just a very, very nice look to him. Now, besides that little hat, they are pretty much the same with the detailing and whatnot. Obviously different overall appearance, but the grills up here are the same texture on the bottom here, same like lines and whatnot. So looks like besides the hat, they are pretty much the same. There's the articulation again, and it does look actually like the forks are different. You can see that line right there, definitely a big indicator there for the articulation point, I guess you could say. But on Muggsy, that point's a lot harder to see from the top. You have to check it out from the bottom. So those are 2 differences that I spotted within the bodies or models themselves. And that's really all for the comparison with Brian. I did want to show, just for the fun of it, Guido here. Here's Guido. You can just kind of compare the sizes and how like big Muggsy, I was going to say Brian, but we're looking at Muggsy here compared to Guido. I mean, looks like, let's see here, like 2 Guidos heights and probably like 3 Guidos long, just probably like 2.5 actually. So my little measuring Guido over here. But yeah, Muggsy is big. That is the point that I'm trying to get across. You could probably, oh my god, that looks hilarious right there. But you got Muggsy just moving Guido along. So I feel like that's kind of why Pixar and Disney implemented Muggsy, just to show that the lemons are a power to be reckon with, because they have all these big muscle, like with the crane that was shown there, and of course with this huge pity. So that is all. Now, I actually did want to touch on just one thing about Muggsy. Many people kind of like have considered him a lemon. Is he a lemon or is he not? Well, technically, he's not a lemon by definition, meaning that his model is not like a clunker like the Gremlins or Pacers, but he is a part of the whole Lemons organization, so kind of puts a rest to that whole controversy. And that is really all for Muggsy. If you'd like to see the bio for him, I think I put it in the description below. I've kind of stopped reading them in the videos because it takes up a while. I kind of want to get through this video, and you guys can probably even read it while I'm talking. I'm not really sure, but that is all for the review. I hope you guys enjoy Ross Cars in Plain. Thanks for the suggestion. I hope the video lived up to what you'd hoped it would be, and I'm trying to catch up on these suggestions. Again, I'm sorry about the break, but as I've said before, it was completely necessary, and hopefully by 2017 we'll get back to the regular schedule. And if you've been on my channel for a couple years, and you know that in December, I actually do a 12 days of Christmas like ordeal. It's a lot of fun. You guys get to pick the cars I review. That's what I did last year, and I plan on doing the same thing. So maybe to get your guys' mentalities in for the game, not really a game, but kind of like the interactive content, I guess you could say. Check out the introduction of last year's 12 Days of Christmas to get the rules. And basically what we're going to do is for each day, we'll have a car from each 2016 series if there were 12 series again like 2015. So I'll just have to check that, but those will be 12 consecutive videos for each day. So you can look forward to that. I'm sorry about rambling on, but I always tend to do this. So thanks again for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time for another video. Bye now.